Welcome to Sassy Lasses in the Kitchen.
Woo! What are we making today, Darcy?
Oh, let me tell you. Today we are making a pumpkin soup with crispy sage. Ooh. It should be quite a treat.
Alright, so to start with, we had 4 of the pie pumpkins. We cut them in half and took all the seeds out. And then I put them on a sprayed tray so that they wouldn't stick, the skins wouldn't stick, even though the skins are going to come off, but I didn't want to have to peel them off. So next we're going to put a bunch of sage leaves into the pumpkin. Woo! So let's do that.
All right. I don't believe I've ever cooked with sage before. I've eaten it at restaurants, but never myself.
Alright, so after you have our little sage leaves inside the pumpkins, we're going to brush them with a tablespoon of melted butter. I'm using a brush like this.
And I have no brush, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I think I'm going to just use a spoon and drizzle.
So once you've brushed it, make sure it's inside down on the baking sheet. So like this.
All right. And then we are going to put these in the oven at 350 degrees for 45 minutes.
In the oven, we're going to take chopped onions. They don't have to be finely diced because it's all going to eventually go into a blender later. So you're going to put that in a saucepan with 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And after you've kind of added the onions, you're going to switch the heat to medium-low, and you're just going to let them get nice and translucent.
Like a ghost. Haha. Get it? Because it's Halloween time?
Yes. Ha 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 ha.
Hello, we are back, and our pumpkins have just come out of the oven, and they are all nice and roasted, toasted, and we are going to separate the meat from the skin now. So they're really pretty tender, so I'm going to use a spoon and a fork and just hold it with the fork and then separate it with the spoon.
I'm going to hold it with a glove so that I don't burn myself. Dorothy and I had much debate about this, but we decided the sage does not go in with the pumpkin.
Oh yes, thank you for reminding me. So remove your sage. And if that was the wrong thing to do, c'est la vie. Next time we'll leave the sage. But we decided it made more sense. And you can put your pumpkin in your big pot that you're going to be using, your stock pot.
This looks a lot like the butternut or the spaghetti squash.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so we just peeled our pumpkin bits. Next, we're going to have to put in 4.5 cups of vegetable broth.
Yes.
And we're going to add 2 tablespoons of the pumpkin spice mixture. All right, now we're going to simmer that for 30 minutes. All right. Hello. So we've simmered our pumpkin mixture for half an hour, and we made sure we stirred pretty frequently. And now we're going to move on to the blending stage, and we're going to be gradually adding the onion and the butter during this stage.
And we're back again. So we blended up all of our soup, and it ended up with a very large pot of it. It's like it's a hefty amount of soup. So now we're going to make the crispy sage as the garnish. So you're going to need 2 tablespoons of butter melted in your saucepan.
Oh, and before we forget, the salt is to taste. So at the end, Darcy and I added salt to taste. We both started with a teaspoon and then worked up from there. My happy spot was about 1.5 teaspoons, and Darcy's was about 2.5 teaspoons, but she tends to like a little bit more salt on her food. So it's up to you.
Absolutely. And if you really want, you could just add none and then leave it up to the people who are eating it to salt to their own taste. Whatever floats your boat. So in the beginning we saved, it told us to save around 12 sage leaves. So I have about 12 here. And after your butter's melted, what you're going to do is you're going to fry the sage leaves to make them crispy. And then they're going to go on top of the soup.
Jesse, what do we do when it's all done?
All right, so when it's all done, to make it a complete meal, you're going to dish it up in a lovely little bowl. And if you like, you can get some mascarpone. It's usually able to be found at Trader Joe's. Here you go, mascarpone. And it says it's a fresh and creamy Italian-style sweet cheese. And you're going to put a dollop of that in the middle of your soup bowl. And you can actually add a swirl of olive oil around the mascarpone. And that doesn't really add much other than it looks nice and fancy. And then after you do both of those, you can top it with your crispy sage. And then bon appetit. Enjoy. It should look very nice and it'll impress anyone that you serve it to, for sure. Now, Becca, did you just finish dishing it up?
Oh, yeah.
Show us?
Yummy.
Oh, it looks really good. All right, well, that is it for this week, folks. And I believe next week we are going to be making a homemade pumpkin pie.
Yes, you think correctly.
So you should tune in for that because I'm sure that will be interesting.
All right. Bye.
Bye.